Hi everybody, this is the section on vocal hygiene. And before I get going, I just want to make a little disclaimer to everybody. I'm not a voice specialist. I'm not a speech language pathologist, nor am I a physician. The information I'm relaying to you has been researched and integrated for us by a retired speech language pathologist with a background in vocal hygiene. The information I'm presenting is available on professional websites through professional organizations. Those resources are available in our manual monitor. If you have any questions or concerns about your voice, please see your doctor as I am not qualified to answer them. So, first thing we want to do, there are some basic vocal hygiene rules that everybody should be made aware of, especially those of us that are clogging instructors and using our voices while we're exerting ourselves. Number one, stay hydrated. Biggest thing, internal hydration helps reduce the friction that occurs when the vocal folds. Remember, they're folds, they're not cords, when they collide. And they do this about 500 times a second. That's a lot. Drink water or other non-carbonated, non-caffeinated liquids. The recommendation is about 8-ounce glasses of water every day. Another thing you can do is topical hydration. So a little spray bottle helps to keep your voice box moist as well. Use amplification. Use a microphone. I know a lot of you are used to working in studio situations and you don't use a microphone, but using microphones is probably the most important thing you can do for your voice. Yelling creates way too much strain on those delicate vocal folds. Remember how many times per second they collide. If you're yelling, they're colliding even more. You might want to invest in your own microphone if the studio that you work for doesn't have them. But I'm sure if you tell them just exactly how much it's going to save everybody's voice, they will thank you for it. Use your abdomen to project your voice. This will alleviate some of the strain anyway. It won't alleviate all of it, but it will alleviate some of it. We'll talk more on working to strengthen those abdominal muscles in a little bit. But let's continue with our rules first. Remember to rest your voice. Try to take 5 minutes of silence every hour that you teach. I know that's really hard to do. And if you can't do it, then remember at the end of your teaching day to have some quiet time, some downtime where you're not using your voice and just give it a rest. Be smart when you're using your voice. Rather than hollering for kids to come into all over the studio, ask them to come in close when you've got something to say to them. Keep them close, use hand gestures, an international signal for the Girl Guides when we want to get everybody's attention in a large room, even a smaller room, when everybody's talking. We raise our right hand. And gradually, as people see it, they raise their right hand, and they know that that means that they're supposed to be quiet then. And pretty soon the whole room will be quiet. You can have other signals. You can clap your hands, you can blow a whistle, you can turn the light off and on. Whatever happens to work for you in your class. Exercise your vocal folds daily. It's the same as any other fitness program. You can't do it just once a week. You can't just do it once a month. You've got to exercise regularly. They've got to keep them in shape. Things to avoid for your voice. Don't clear your throat or cough habitually. I know a lot of times it's hard not to cough, but that's not habitually. Clearing your throat means like every half a sentence, every sentence, you're ending up and you're clearing your throat. Try not to do that. That is really, really hard on those little vocal folds again. Remember how often they collide. Don't yell, don't cheer, don't scream. How many of us have been to a concert, a hockey game, or something like that, and you've been cheering so loud, you've gone home with little or no voice? Can you imagine the damage that you've done to your vocal folds doing that kind of a thing? Don't talk over the loud music or the class noise. Remember, bring them in close so you can talk to them without having to yell. Maybe there's other things going on in the studio at the same time, and you have to talk over that as well. So by bringing your group in close, at least they can hear you without you having to yell. When you yell, the pitch of your voice goes up considerably, and you want to keep the pitch down. So try not to yell at all if you can help it. Things like holding your breath when you're planning what you want to say. Don't clench your teeth when you clench your jaw. All of those things add strain to your vocal folds. Don't speak beyond a natural breath cycle. You've all heard somebody trying to talk on and on and on and on and on, and they run out of breath, and it gets sounding breathier and breathier and breathier, and then they run out of breath, and then they have to stop. Try not to do that. Try to talk within your breath range, your breath cycle. Take a little breath, stop at the end of a sentence, take a little breath, and then get back to what you were saying. Don't mouth breathe. Try not to breathe through your mouth. If you have to, make sure you're hydrating yourself. But the breathing through your mouth dries out your vocal folds considerably. If you're sick or tired, it's even worse. Rest your voice when you're sick or tired. Okay, let's talk about breathing now. We've talked about what to do to help. Let's talk about what happens if you don't breathe. If you don't breathe, there's no oxygen supplied to the body cells. Carbon monoxide that's excess would be expelled. You wouldn't be able to talk. In other words, you die. We need to learn to breathe efficiently to avoid undue or damaging strain on our vocal folds. Breathing while dancing and cueing is so different than for normal speaking. You're exerting yourself, you're expending energy, and it makes it harder to actually breathe. So you've got to learn to control your breath. We need to learn careful control over those inhalations and exhalations. How many of us at one time or another have tried some kind of fitness activity, be it yoga, boxing, even singing, where the coach has told us, breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Our challenges are a little bit unique because we're dancing, we're using breath to support our exertion, and we need that breath to produce a voice that is clear and powerful. That makes it kind of hard. Well, let's get to the fun part, the exercise. I'm going to tell you how you can practice abdominal breathing. The rest is up to you whether you practice or not. But I don't think you learn to clog or do anything else for that matter without practice. And this will come as it'll be a natural phenomenon. You'll find yourself breathing differently when you're cueing. Abdominal breathing can strengthen your diaphragm and result in your breathing more efficiently. They can be very calming too. Yoga is a really good practice for deep breathing. First, take stock of how you breathe normally. Do you breathe through your chest or do you breathe through your abdomen? Is your breath fast? Is it slow? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Now, let's practice. Here's something for you to try. I want you to lie on your back with your knees bent. Lie on the floor on your back with your knees bent and place your hands, one on your chest and one on your abdomen, just below your rib cage. Breathe in through your nose until you can't anymore. Tighten your stomach muscles and breathe out through your mouth. Do that for 5 to 10 minutes. The whole thing is going to happen over 5 to 10 minutes once you get going. Then you're going to repeat that same thing in a sitting position. So sit in your chair and do the same thing. Feel where you're breathing from. And then you want to stand and do it again. And then try it while you're dancing. All of these things are going to help you strengthen those abdominal muscles, which is in turn going to strengthen the diaphragm. And that's where the breath rate is going to slow. It's going to decrease on demand, and your oxygen is going to decrease, and it's going to result in more efficient breathing. Most of us understand pitch when it comes to music, but did you know, or maybe even think about it, that it applies to your voice as well? There's 3 factors that affect the pitch of your voice. the length of your vocal folds, the size of your resonators, your throat, your nose, your mouth, your sinuses, and loudness. Optimal pitch is the vocal fold vibration that allow optimal resonance with the least effort. That's what you want to achieve. Habitual pitch is the one that you use all the time. Ideally, you want your optimal pitch and your habitual pitch to be the same. Now, how do you find your optimal pitch? Check your manual. There's lots of things that you can do there. Some of them require having another person help you out. Your habitual range, try recording yourself and read aloud something like the phone book. Remember what a phone book is? Read the same thing 3 or 4 times, making it more monotonous each time until you sound like a robot. After determining your optimal and habitual ranges, compare them. Are they about the same? Ideally, that's where we want them. If you ever feel excessive strain in your throat with trying voice exercises, stop. Consult a professional. Look for a speech professional that can help you with that. To change from habitual to optimal is not hard. It's just practice. You just have to practice. It's like learning that new clogging step. You never learn it the first time. Well, some might, but some of us don't. We just have to practice all the time. There's exercises that are in your manual that you can do as well. And that's going to be up to you to practice those. Loudness and pitch. You don't want to yell. I said that earlier, and it goes for whispering as well. Whispering, you're putting a lot of strain on your vocal folds. You're better off to speak in a low, very low voice rather than whispering. The other thing that we need to talk about and cover is nasality. There's 2 types of nasality. Too much and too little. Excessive or too much nasality is caused by the failure of the soft palate and the pharynx, the back of your throat. If you put your tongue up to the roof of your mouth, you can actually feel your soft palate right at the back of your mouth. The too little is caused by blocked sinuses. You're going to find all this information in your manual, and if you know your manual, you know the material in your manual, you will have no problem with your exam. If any problems occur, make sure that you consult a physician. Any symptoms persist longer than a couple of days, see your doctor. Practicing good vocal hygiene habits will result in a rich, powerful teaching voice that all your students are going to love. Make sure you check the review questions at the end of the chapter and be aware of the parts in the bold print. Could be that you're going to see a question on the test. Talk to you later. Bye.